What is up, guys? First off, I'd like to start a video by thanking you for all the likes we've got on the macro video. We totally smashed the goal and within one day again, which is fucking awesome, and I'd like to thank you all for that. So in response to those people who've been leaving comments, asking stuff in PMs, this is my keybind video. It will show my keybinds that I use personally, but first off, I'd like to say that my keybinds aren't made for everyone. Your keybinds aren't made for me either. It's different for everyone, which keybind you're using. You're just gonna get used to it. If you want to go ahead and copy my keybinds, you can, but it's gonna take a while before you get used to it. And yeah, that's it. So if you already have some keybindings, I think you should work on them instead of completely switching to another style of keybinding. But that's just my thought. So let's get this started. First off, I'd like to show my equipment. I use an Acer keyboard which I got by buying my computer back in 2008, I believe, with a Microsoft mouse that I bought for $30 Walmart. Has 4 buttons and a middle mouse, which is really great. And that's it for the equipment. Simple mouse, simple keyboard. I'm just gonna jump in game right now, show you my key bindings. First off, we have the strap left and strap right bind on A and D, so there's no keyboard turning. Now let's talk about the stealth bar. On the non-stealth bar, I have kidney shot, backstab, gouge, and then disarm. If we move to stealth, I have a cheap shot, ambush, gouge again, and garrote. That's the only thing that changes between the stealth and non-stealth of my rogue. Actually, there's one more thing that changes. There's my stealth. As you can see here, this is my mouse button 3, which is a side button on my mouse, Microsoft mouse. When I click it, it goes into stealth and then switch to my SAP macro. This is the thing I spam. So my SAP is mounted on my mouse button. So to recap, my stealth and my SAP is on the same button. Then there is the 1, 2, 3, 4 on my keyboard. 1 being cheap shot and kidney shot, ambush and backstab, gouge and gouge, garrote and disarm. As for the Q and E, my E is emerage, which is my spam button. This is what I spam. And then my Q is eviscerate. Below the movement keys, I have my sprint, which is on Z. I have evasion, which is on X. And I have deadly throw, which is on C. And if we move a bit further to the right, I have my R, which is final knives, my F, which is kick, my V, which is my mount, and then there is G for preparation, and B for tricks of the trade. People been asking if I'm using Shift, Control, or Alt. The truth is that I'm actually using 3 of them. I'm using Alt a little bit less than Shift and Control, but let me show you my keybinds. On Shift 1, I have my focus redirect, Shift 2 focus kick, Shift 3 focus kidney shot, and Shift 4 focus disarm. So as you can see, I'm using Shift and the numbers to hit my focus targets. Then as for the Q and E, my Shift Q is cloak and my Shift E is vanish. And then for R, my Shift R is my recuperate. Shift F is my regular blind, not focus. And as for the Z, X, C, my Shift Z is my slice and dice, Shift X is my crippling, not crippling, I mean shiv, and my Shift C is my throwing weapon. If you remember, my C is my deadly throw and my Shift C is my throwing weapon. I also said that V is my mount. Well, V is actually my flying mount and Shift V is my ground mount. I don't actually have any more Shift on my keyboard, the rest are on my mouse. But as for Control, I only have 1 on the keyboard, which is Control F. That is my focus blind. So in case you were wondering why my focus blind is, it's actually on Control and F. I decided to use the Alt for my poison macro. So my poison macro are like at the bottom right of my balls, as you can see right here. It's Alt Q, Alt E, then Alt R. So it's Q E R with Alt modifier. Now let's move to the tricky part, which is the mouse. I have a lot of keybinding on the mouse. I have only 3 buttons I'm using on the mouse, but there's a lot of keybinding in that. As I said before, the side button on my mouse is used to stealth and then spam my SAP macro. Now if I hold shift while doing that, it's gonna shadow step to my target. if I hold Control while hitting that button, it's gonna mouse over focus my target. And now if I hold Alt and do that button, it's gonna sap and focus my target. Let's try it. Sap and focus. Now let's go for the middle mouse. Middle mouse up and down just controls my camera, like default settings. I keep that because it's good for making videos. I can make some, you know, pretty cool stunt, I believe, with that. It's better to be able to control the camera, in my opinion, when you're making videos. Now, if I hold Shift and actually go middle mouse up, it's gonna trinket. It's gonna use my PvP trinket, which is my racial. If I go down, it's actually gonna shadow step my focus. So let's do Control, side button click, mouse over focus, and then I'm gonna hit Shift and middle mouse down. It's gonna shadow step to my focus. After doing Shift middle mouse down, I can easily hit 2 on my keyboard and kick my target. The focus shadow step focus kick. And the last but not the least button I have binded is my distract, which is on my mouse button, my other side button, which I don't really use a lot. There's actually 2 buttons I didn't talk about. The first one being permutation. It's binded on the button right next to 1. I don't know how to say that. I'm just gonna say hashtags because that's what I think it is. Whatever you use for Twitter, anyway. And the next one is smoke bomb, which is on Shift G. I have preparation on G and I have a smoke bomb on Shift G. So there you go, those were my keybinds. This video took a good amount of time to make and I'm actually aiming for 600 likes, so if you did enjoy or you just want to be nice and help me out, please leave a like and I'll see you soon.